I want you to imagine for a second that as opposed to having to go to a job every morning, that you're running your own business. Except inside this business, you're not working 8 to 10 hours a day. You're maybe working 1 to 2. The entire purpose of you in your business is to create more ideas that make more money and bring more freedom to the people that you're called to serve. That doesn't sound too bad, right? But how would we do this in a way that pleases God? Right? First and foremost, I'm sure I'll hear from the high heavens, oh, we're not supposed to do anything with money because as a Christian, we're supposed to be poor or just financially stable or just have enough. Contentment and poverty is great gain and blah, blah. All right, bro. Here's the thing. What if, stay with me now, what if it was God's good pleasure to make you rich? What if, I know it's getting a little crazy, what if God is the God of riches? What if God is the God of abundance? And what if you were rich, you could point to his glory, riches, and abundance? I know it's a little far-fetched. I know. Stick with me because I'm going to show you how you might be able to start a business that pleases God and brings you and your family generational freedom. Oh, and here's the added kicker. You might be able to change the world in the process. Does that sound all right? Would you like that? Would you at least be open to it? Well, if so, let's jump in. There's only 2 types of ideas in this life. There's bad ideas and there's God ideas, right? What's a bad idea? Any idea that has not come from God, right? What's a God idea? An idea that obviously has come from God, right? God is the source of all goodness. He's the source of all promise. When we have an idea and when we go to transform that idea into physical reality, especially to help people or to serve people or to create some form of solution or product, we want to make sure that that idea is in alignment with what God has for the people that he's called you to serve. Does that make sense? So here's why 99% of businesses and entrepreneurs fail. This right here. They decide, you know what? I'm good at this. I love doing this. And I believe that I'm called to do this. Okay. And then they go and make something. And then they make it and they go, well, this is awesome. There's nothing better on earth than this. I'm going to go take it out to the people now. And then they go and they take it out to the people and oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh, it'll do this. Oh, it'll do that. It'll do this. It'll do that. And no one buys. Or someone buys every now and again. And they don't really get that great of a success rate. And so the entrepreneur is like, well, I'm really good at this. Like I have a passion for this. If I do what I love, I'll never work a day in my life. I got to make this work. And so they keep spending and spending and spending and spending time, hours. And now all of a sudden they're left at the end of their rope after 2 years, or if they get really lucky, 5, and they have to quit. And then they go back into the workforce and they say, oh, well, entrepreneurship just wasn't for me. When here's the thing. A lot of people have really great ideas. Like I'm sure you right now, however you're watching, if you're sitting, if you're standing, if you're lying down, I'm sure that you have at least one great idea that has the potential to change the world. Here's how we make that idea into a God idea. Here's how we create a solution and a product that actually transforms the lives that we bring it to. Are you ready? Everything has to be done in the right order, right? God loves order. Our God is a God of order. So we have to start first things first. How do we do that? We ask God, God, how do I please you? And then question number 2 is, and how do I serve the people that you've called me to serve in a way that pleases you? And then start thinking about freedom. Here's why. You want to think about freedom first as opposed to problems. Because if you have the freedom, then you can start thinking backwards to what is preventing that freedom. So for me, I think of, well, what does it take? What does freedom take? What is actually required for me and my family to be free and for others to be free? Okay. Oh, there it is. It's poverty. Poverty is standing in the way, or financial stability is standing in the way, or the mindset that I'm just supposed to have enough is standing in the way. Okay. What are the people who are in that space thinking, saying, and feeling? What do I mean by that? Okay, you've thought about the freedom. Now you've identified the problem. Well, there's people as part of that problem, right? So they're probably thinking something. They're definitely saying something. And I 100% guarantee they're feeling something. And so some of the things that I started to think about were, do I don't get to spend enough time with my kids? Do I hate my boss? I want another job, but I can't find another job that pays enough. Dude, if I pick up another job, like, yeah, I'll have more money, but then I don't have any time. I don't want to be here anymore. When is Jesus coming back? Right? So I started thinking about all the things that people were saying and that they were feeling. Because now, when I go to take that, right? Now I have the bondage. Now I have a real problem, right? It's filled with lives. It's filled with reality. It's filled with truth. It's filled with experiences that people are actually living here and now. And so now when I take that to God, I can go, God, this is what your people are saying. This is how your people feel. This is how your people think. How do we help them? Now we get something good. Now we get something of God. Because we've brought it to Him. We've brought the suffering of His people to Him. We've brought the tears. We've brought the physical to the invisible. God, what do? We asked Him as opposed to relying on ourselves. Can I share with you the first solution ever in existence? This is actually how I learned this system. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? What was His purpose? I believe His purpose was to create an inheritance for His Son, Jesus, because God's never going to die. Because the only way that God dies is if He lies, as a result of the covenant that He made with Abraham. So, He made an inheritance for Jesus. Why? Because Jesus is going to get married one day. And since He's not going to die, well, you still want to give a good gift to your child, right? He's getting married. So I believe that all of this abundance, the creation of the heavens and the earth to be filled, is a inheritance to Jesus. It's a gift to Jesus. So 2, what was the intention? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. His intention was to take invisible resources and create everything that you see today. Every single thing that you look at today is made of invisible forces. It's made up of invisible resources. And we just get to experience them through our flesh suit, right? Because we're not this, right? Like, the way that I look is not the way that I look, right? This is just how I experience the world. This is how all of us experience the world. What happened next, though? Number 3, right? And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Hey, there's a problem. Whoa, there's the first problem ever. Satan came and destroyed the earth. And he attempted to destroy it utterly. And so it was void. It was formless. It was in disarray and in chaos. And the Spirit of God moved across the face of the waters. This is, to me, the imagery of imagination, right? The active meditation, the activity of the brooding over, right? Like a chick or like a hen over her chicks or a hen over eggs, right? Brooding over the problem and taking inventory and identifying, well, what needs to happen, right? There's our problem. And then here's the first solution ever. Ready? I'm sure you know it. And then God said, let there be light. Because the light was a solution to the darkness that Satan had created, that Satan had wrought havoc upon the earth in which God had built. The first solution ever. So when I say there are only God ideas and bad ideas, it's because there's only one person who knows how this whole thing works, and it's God. He's the only one. And so we can certainly try, we can attempt. It's going to be a poor solution, right? We fall, we are sinners. We fall short of the glory of God. And it's okay. That's what Jesus died for, right? And so when we take this problem, right, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, when we identify what is without form and void and where there is darkness upon, we take it to God, because he knows what to do with the deepest and the darkest. And so we share it with him. And you know what he gives us? Inspiration. Gives us inspiration that we're going to transform with our imaginations into physical reality in the form of innovation, so that we can provide a solution that improves the lives of the people that he's called us to serve. I know you're hoping I was going to come up with a third rhyme there, or a fourth rhyme. I thought of it. I couldn't figure it out. Function. And so with this, right, we now have a proper problem. Because here's the truth about problems that if you take one thing away from this video today, I want you to take away this. Every problem comes with an opportunity. And there are no such things as opportunities without problems. If you don't like the word problem, you can think of it as challenge. No matter what, if you want opportunity in this life, you're going to face problems and challenges, because they're two sides of the same coin. On one side is problem, on the other side is opportunity. You get to decide. So every single problem, every bad thing that ever happens in your life, in the lives of your family, in the world, you can look at it one of two ways. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Or, okay, there's opportunity there. There's opportunity to show off God's strength in that. There's opportunity there. Yeah. And so what we've done is we've brought the opportunity to God. And he's going to hand us back what we need. Inspiration. Now we can take inventory with our gifts. Because what happens when you give something to God? Does it come back worse, or does it come back better? And then how much better does it come back? Oh, that's right. It's not 1 + 1, because God is exponential and he's a multiplier. He multiplies abundance. He operates in fruitfulness, right? 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold. So by bringing this problem to him, the solution that he's going to hand back is 100-fold, at least. And so now we can go, okay, God, I see the result that we need to bring to these people. I see the result that you need me to bring to your people. How do I use, are you ready? This is where things get really, really cool for you and for me and for anyone who takes this journey. How do I use my gifts, my skills, my passions, and my talents in a way that serves the people you called me to serve, in a way that pleases you? Okay, so now, because we didn't do it based on us, we didn't go out and create it on our own, now we're going to do what we love, the thing that we were purposed for, that we were designed for, that we were always meant to do, with the blessing and the covering of God. So now you get to live your dream. Now you get to exactly never work a day in your life because you're doing what you love with God. And then you're going to create a solution or a product. And my recommendation is to make sure whatever result you can give to people is measurable, right? 10x. I'm sure you've heard it all sorts of times, or if you've never heard of 10x before, the 10x principle is how can you give somebody 10 times what they gave you? So the idea would be, if you hand me $1, I'm going to give you 10 back. If you hand me $10, I'm going to give you 100 back. If you hand me $100, I'm going to give you 1,000 back, and 1,000 to 10,000, and 10,000 to 100,000. So I know me, like if you hand me $27,000, I'll hand you $270,000 back. If you hand me $55,000, I'm going to hand you $550,000 back. If you hand me $95,000, I'm going to hand you $950 back. If you hand me $150, I'm going to hand you $1.5 million back. Why? Because I've done it before. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, I've never done anything like that. That's okay. That's okay. But you can create something that's going to 10x their life, that's going to open up a route for freedom for their life. And if you want to learn how to turn somebody's $100,000 into $1 million, just start reading some books. The simplest way, I'll give you guys another secret. Most people have never read more than 3 books in their entire life. Excuse me, not in their entire life. In their specific profession, right? So if I'm in sales, most salespeople have never read more than 3 books on their profession. If I'm an accountant, I've never read more than 3 books on accounting. If I'm in business, I've never read more than 3 business books. So the competition isn't really as fierce as you might think. A great book, lucky for me, I have it laying right here, is Boss Moves by Myron Golden. This is a fantastic intro starter book. You'll learn a ton. He's a good Christian man. He's a good Christian entrepreneur. I also recommend checking out his YouTube channel and his YouTube page. I've gone through his challenge and it changed my life. So I highly recommend getting this book because he'll teach you the 4 moves that you need to start or scale a business. I have a book as well. It's called Infinite Revenue Systems to teach you how to start up a business and set everything up. It's not as difficult as you might think, especially if you're working with people who already have a business in place. And you might be thinking, well, Jarrett, I just don't know if I can get that sort of result. Don't worry. Keep your word. What? Keep your word. Keep your word in all things to all people, but especially to yourself. Because if you can keep a promise, God can work through you. And so you might not be able to. Dude, I'm not going to be able to deliver on $1 million offer and hand somebody back 10 million without God. Jarrett just ain't that. I'm smart. I'm really smart. I'm genius level IQ. I'm in the top 1% of reading comprehension on planet Earth. Yes, I've been tested. You don't have to be that though. You just have to know enough. Just start reading more books. For every minute you scroll on social media, replace it with a minute of reading. You can create a business that will retire you, and pretty fast. Actually, really fast. Faster than you ever thought possible. And so now we have our solution that we take to God. And now we're working with our gifts and our talents and our skills and our passions. And then we're going to go and take that out to the people. Now we have a message. This is why you had to learn first what people are saying, thinking, and feeling. Because now we can create a message that sounds like them, that definitely feels like they've been going through it, and they think hey, that sounds like the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm interested in that because you're able to explain my problem almost better than I can. What do you know that I don't? And then you just bring your message out there. And as you transition out of your job, or as you continue to grow and scale your business and spend less time doing the little tinkering here and there, you'll just figure out how to do more higher value tasks and how to increase the value that you're providing to your clients and just maximizing your time and the output of your life. And all of a sudden you'll look back and go, man, I remember when I was saying, like, how am I going to be able to do this? And now you're here. And now you're free. See, I charge $25,000 an hour for sales and offer coaching. I charge $50,000 an hour if you want me to teach you how to become a superhero out of the Bible. Why do I say all that? I say all that because you need to understand the value in you. You need to understand that you carry a value that is literally incomprehensible. You are invaluable. Your skills and your talents and your gifts and who you are can bring you freedom unimaginable and then put you in a position where you can go to war against the system that suppressed and oppressed you. And you can go out there and teach others how to become free and abundant. It's to help you. I don't expect you to, oh yeah, I got $25,000, here we go. I don't expect that. I know, but here's the cool thing, right? I want to share something with you. You open your mind, you'll realize that there are people on earth today who have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. I want you to really think about that. That there are people on this earth today, and I'm not talking like billionaires. I'm talking like multimillionaires who have more money than they know what to do with. And they're like, well, I'd like to learn some new stuff from people who have skills, or be able to be in a mastermind and network with some people who also have the ability to drop $150,000. Because I want you to think about this. Let's say you did a mastermind and you brought in 5 people at $150,000. What do you think those 5 people are going to create? Probably a business relationship or two, right? Do you think the $150,000 entry, the entry investment that they spent, that they're going to at least make $1.5 million off that? As a matter of fact, let me ask you this. How much do you think they are going to make? When we build business the right way, when we solve from the problem and from the people and bring it to God to make sure that we're serving and pleasing Him righteously, or pleasing Him in the way that He wants to be pleased, and then we take this solution to the market and it transforms lives. I mean, I guess this is the biggest question of all, right? Do you deserve to get paid for that? And how much does somebody deserve that brings freedom and changes the world? I mean, you tell me. Personally, I think billions and trillions of dollars. If you're able to transform people's lives and bring them freedom and help them achieve freedom, and then they free their families, and you're like, there's literally entire generations and lineages of generational curses that have been broken, and they never have to go through the hell that is poverty or financial stability or just being comfortable or just having enough. Because here's the thing, just enough doesn't feed your grandkids. And a good man stores up an inheritance for his children's children. I don't say this to condemn, or even really to convict. Just take a moment and think about it. Did God put you here to work a job 8 hours a day with a 2-hour commute? Or did He put you here to change the world? And if it's His good pleasure to make you rich, let me leave you with this. who are you to stop him? I pray that you're blessed in the mighty name of Jesus, that your abundance is multiplied, that your riches are overflowing, that your wealth is expanded beyond measure, and that your prosperity is made mighty beyond belief. Take care and stay safe out there. Until next time.